Welcome to Wheels Off, a show about the messy reality of the creative life. I'm Rhett Miller.
That's when it got wheels off. We started up and we ain't gonna stop. Oh, said I like it or not. That's when it got wheels off.
Clover County is my guest on my newest Wheels Off, and she's great. She's young. As I mentioned, like 3 or 4 times during the course of the interview you're about to hear, she's roughly my own kid's age, a couple of years older than my oldest. And also, she's the age I was when the old 97 started. She started doing music about the same time, the same age I was when I started, when I was 16 years old. And it's impossible for me not to sort of superimpose on her my own kids, my own life, my own experience. She's just such a shining beacon of youth. But she's more than that. She's an artist. She's got her debut album dropping. It will have dropped by the time you hear this. And it's great. She invented the term boot gaze for her album because it's sort of a countrified take on, the kind of dreamy shoegaze music that my own kids are into. And it's really sweet and lovely. And there's a deceptive amount of depth in there, for this 24-year-old who just, the world is her oyster. Her given name is A.G. Schiano, Amanda Grace. She references that during the course of the interview. I'm not speaking out of turn. But she records and performs under the name Clover County, and people now call her Clover County, and that's a stage name, a working nom de plume, as it were. But she's great. It's fun to be able to talk to somebody who's just on the precipice of a career, and I think she's got, for what it's worth, from my vantage point, I think she's got the goods. I think her music is great. I think as a person, she's just got such a great attitude about all this stuff. And it's a real pleasure to get to speak to her. And I think you're really going to enjoy this episode of Wheels Off. So please welcome to Wheels Off, Clover County. Welcome to Wheels Off, Clover County. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. For the edification of our listening audience, where are you logging in from?
I'm actually in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice. And how long have you lived in Nashville?
I don't live here, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I've been popping up and down between like Atlanta, Athens, and Nashville for the last 2 or 3 years. But it just has been a couple of extended stays since I've been here. So I've been here for like 2 months, even though I deny that I pay or live here at all.
And Athens is sort of home, right?
Kinda. It was home. I went to UGA and it was home for like 2.5 years. And then I took off on my first tour and decided I didn't want to go back and pay rent. So I moved out. So I would say Atlanta is more my headquarters these days.
Yeah, good choice. Well done. Congrats on the new record.
Thank you. So
Finer Things.
excited.
It's coming out as we record this. It's coming out like this any day. But once people hear it, it will be out in the world, and they probably will have all listened to it by then. And it's great. I got to hear it.
Thank you. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm really excited. It comes out today is Tuesday. It comes out on Friday. So
And honestly, I'm kind of shocked that nobody else has come up with the phrase boot gaze before. That's pretty great marketing.
thank you.
But I mean, it also feels authentic. It really does feel like that's sort of what you're doing.
I hope so. I think it was funny at first, and then when people started catching wind of the music and people were like, "Oh, we love bootgaze," I was like, "Cool." But if the shoegaze people come for me, just know I'm very aware. This is not. I'm not even getting up there with a tuner pedal half of the time. So, the whole gaze part of it is just me looking at my own, boots, trying to remember the words to the songs.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, shoegaze has always been a very underground thing. I have a son who's only a couple of years younger than you, and he not long ago came to me and said, "Oh, Dad, I really love this new kind of music called shoegaze." And I'm like, "Bro."
Like, right.
So this is really exciting. Now, I know how things work, and with in regards to recording albums and then watching them sit in the can for a while, and then they finally come out. And I wonder, because you're really at the start of a career. I imagine you're writing songs a lot. Is
Hmm.
there like a creative project that you've already kind of started as you're waiting for this record to finally drop?
Yes. I think, well, it's so funny because this first record that's come out, it was kind of like the backlog of songs I'd been writing since I was like 16, 18, and now I was 23, 24 when we recorded the record. So that was already me like wiping down what needed to be done. And we have so many more songs that I wanted to put on record one that we didn't. So I have stuff that's still already written and then yeah, things I was writing while we were recording and was writing yesterday. So it's
Do
overwhelming once you finally get the chance to start doing it. You're like, there's not enough time in the world.
Well, listen, speaking from experience, having too many songs is a great problem.
Hmm.
Is it weird for you that there's songs that come from, so you were a bit of a child prodigy, it sounds like.
Oh, I don't know if I'd call it that.
Writing songs at 16, doing gigs.
I guess. Hey, I'll let you call it. I'm like,
So
me, Savant? I wouldn't be able to say.
so is it look, I also was a teen folkie and or that not saying you're but that's what I was I started doing gigs at 16 as well.
Yeah.
That for me that music didn't hold up as well. These songs definitely sound great and like they come from someone who's older than 16. Is there anything weird about singing these songs that take you back to a time when you were significantly younger?
I think when I was younger, I was writing songs that were a little less, well, they were a little more fictional. They were a little more, like even folk tale based. And that was really fun. So singing a song like Limbo, which is the first song on my first EP, is so fun because I don't even remember what it was about. And it's a little, woo woo, and that's great. I would say the songs I sing that I wrote 3 months ago that are now on this record that I'm singing, those are the tougher ones to sing, the ones that are a little more mature and a little more about real life because I'm like, oh God, I remember exactly what this is about.
Wow. So
Yeah.
does it feel like as you're progressing in real time as a songwriter and as an artist, does it feel like the new songs are a lot more vulnerable and kind of digging deeper, would you say?
Yeah, I would say so. And it's hard to decide what I want to say. I think, as my frontal cortex has developed, I'm like, wow, this is, and there's so much that could be said. I feel like, you know, different avenues, different routes, and it's deciding what am I meant to say, uh, and what do I truly want to say, and what's genuine, as opposed to like, let me write a political statement, or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like, is that what I'm supposed to write? Now I'm like, have so much empathy for my mother, and I'm hoping she forgives me for so much. So a lot of those sorts of songs come up. Yeah, it's all changing.
It's funny because everybody, I think, at your age is finding out who they are, and you're doing it sort of in public,
Hmm.
you're by choice, which I think is really the job. It's the job of an artist, and I wonder, is has that been tricky for you to sort of navigate what is public and what am I going to keep private? Like, if, for instance, your name, like, I kind of love that you have a built-in, firewall.
Hmm. That was um part of the reason why I chose to do, a stage name or whatever you want to call it. There's a couple different reasons, but that being one of them was privacy. And, would these songs hold, in 20 years, and would I want to be Amanda Grace affiliated with the same songs I wrote when I was 20? Um, I think, yeah, right now is the most important time to decide what is private and what's public. I'm a pretty open book in life, so um, it's hard. There's a lot I do want to post, but I've watched my, um, you know, people who inspire me over the years since I was a kid on, Entertainment Tonight, and it's like Selena Gomez, this gets leaked, and I'm like 7 years old, and I'm like Selena, no. So I'm trying to be cautious. I like the privacy. I think there's a lot of power in the mystery.
Do you have around you mentors, people that you lean on? Do you have a team? Are your folks around? Are they a part of this whole thing?
Yeah, I feel like I have a pretty good crew, of people around me. I feel like right now I'm really searching for, you know, a mentor that is also a woman. I think I woke up one day when I really was starting this project and was like, one of my earlier anxieties was like, are these songs cool or is there just a bunch of 27-year-old dudes around me cheering me on and inviting me to gigs? Like, and I'm in the college scene. I'm like, could this really work or is this, just the age and the scene I was living in? Turns out they were good songs and I made it out and there are women in Nashville who were excited to work. So, my folks are very sweet people. They're very excited about the whole thing, as anxious as they are. They sit at home in Atlanta and they just like panic. They're like, "You're where in the middle of the night, driving to where with no money?" And I'm like, "Yeah, pretty cool."
I've been lucky enough on these Wheels Off interviews I've done. I've done 250 over the last 5 years
Wow.
of these. To talk with just a lot of really great, strong female artists, songwriters, and then other, writers, comedians, actors as well.
Hmm.
And the very first interview I ever did was a woman named Roseanne Cash,
Hmm.
who's an incredible
Hmm.
singer-songwriter, and like if you were ever to listen to one of my podcasts, for instance, Rose is an incredible person and resource, and the wisdom that she drops is incredible. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point it became available to you to meet her,
Hmm.
but I could think of no better mentor than Roseanne Cash, just in terms of a life lived sort of from a very young age in the public eye and really being
Yeah.
strong and powerful and owning it. But it seems like you're really on the right track. It seems like you're doing great. I wonder about when you very first started. Sorry, not,
Hmm.
it's not for me to judge. I'm just as like as a fellow musician. It seems like you're doing
Yeah.
all the right stuff.
Oh, thank.
Um, when you were when you were starting, do you remember like an epiphany moment when you knew it was always going to be music?
Hmm. I think I was having those epiphanies not, or the first epiphany was not on stage, but probably. Mm, it was like when I was taking an accounting exam and I was failing inevitably. And it was like the third time I was taking accounting and was, yeah, I don't know. When I was in places where I didn't belong was when I realized exactly where I belonged, which was like playing music and writing songs. I was like, I don't care if it's, you know, helping young women produce their own songs or teaching songwriting over Zoom or if it's getting on stage and singing whatever garbage I have to say. But yeah, it was when I was like in tears and struggling, just realizing I was like, I'm doing the things I think I have to do, thinking that will get me to where I want to go to do what I want to do. And those paths don't cross like that. So,
That's
but
funny. I ask that question a lot. Not many people answer that way, but that seems like in my own experience, it's that. It's the things where you
yeah,
feel like this is the wrong path.
yeah, you have to take note of the resistance and the uncomfortable feelings, or you'll just get stuck in what's comfy and easy, I guess. But
Accounting. Is there an alternate reality version of you where it's accounting?
I was doing well, I went to Athens for like the music business certificate program, or I found out about it once I was there for advertising, which was very fun, and I just got to do a lot of graphic design, which I'm pretty good at, lots of concert posters. But yeah, that was one of the requirements was accounting. Not cool. They should
Damn.
have they should have had like an artist pathway and a business pathway because I was just there to write off going to gigs as my college credit, but they wanted me to know how split point deal worked, all that junk.
Oh my God. And now you have a business manager whose job it is specifically to do that. Let's
Oh yeah.
let's go. So as I mentioned, I've got my kids are both, within a couple of years of you, and I know that it can be a really tricky time. Like there's a roller coaster element to the your early 20s. And I
Mhm.
wonder for you when you're navigating that plus, the whole life as an artist, life in the public eye, when you come up against the sort of trickier, thornier internal moments where you're beating yourself up, having imposter syndrome comes up a lot in these interviews.
Hmm.
Um, do you have some strategies you've figured out to get beyond those obstacles?
Um, yes. First, I take 7 hours to ruminate and panic and sit alone in the dark. Um, I think truly, and this is something I've talked with friends about, the rumination thing was not a joke. I just think so deeply about things like that, and I'm able to think myself out of the hole by the end. Um, I think imposter syndrome will creep up on me when I'm doing what I'm not supposed to be doing, when I'm in a place I'm not supposed to be, when I'm not being authentic to myself, and you know, there's different sorts of performing, and one of them is not on stage. It's when you're at the bar in East Nashville and you're like, am I dressed okay? Does everyone here, am I drinking the right drink? Are people going to think I'm dumb for drinking a peach seltzer? It's like, that's where I catch myself failing, myself. So, yeah, I don't know, just clocking myself and being honest about like what do I really think is cool. I think as judgmental as I can be on the inside, it's just my own version of accountability. I'm never casting that on other people, just me.
Do you feel like you have a strong friend group that has your back?
I do. I think Nashville holds a lot of my chosen family, and it's so fun. Yeah, I feel very, very lucky in that way. And it's hilarious when people are like, "So, when are you moving here?" And I'm like, "You just need a babysitter. That's You don't really want her all the time. You just need a dog sitter. Um, but yeah, good people here.
Do you wrestle with the idea of ambition? Is it something that feels like it comes naturally to you to have big dreams and keep motivated, or does it ever feel like it's too much? Like I wonder because you've got a lot going on.
I remember in college, I had this one specific friend of mine. His mom would be like, you're gonna, she would say these things to me that would make me so anxious. They were supposed to be so flattering. She'd be like, you're gonna be like Taylor Swift. You're just gonna blow up. You're gonna play these big, it's, amphitheaters. We'll never see you again. And I was like, I don't want that. Why are you casting that on me? I don't want some extravagant life that tears me away from all these people. It was very weird to hear stuff like that. And it made me quickly start to evaluate what I did want out of a career. And it's never been, again, the reason I chose to go by a stage name is I didn't need Amanda Grace to be famous. I just wanted to share my songs and put them out. And if somebody found them in 20 years and then it was really cool and then they blew up, that would be fun. Um, I guess I do struggle with the whole ambition because um think what I want out of all of this is like it would be nice to be paid for my craft and be able to have a home and be able to make the choice of if I want, you know, a steady family and to have kids and do that whole thing. Having the choice of what sort of life I want to live, as opposed to being told that I'm going to be in a van till I'm 80 or that I don't get to get in the van at all. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I wrestle with it.
That's good. I mean, it sounds like you're so what's the word? My son uses the word all the time. Intentional about it. Like you
Mm.
think about this stuff a lot. As you said, 7 hours of rumination.
It's in my calendar.
Do you like being in the van?
I love it. It's so that is when I'm like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I remember as a kid never wanting to get out of the car after, a 5-minute car ride or a 7-hour car ride and never being able to sleep as a kid and always being up till, 2 in the morning, even in elementary school and being like, why am I like this? And all the other kids are different. Those small things I clocked early on. And now I'm sitting in the van for the first time last summer and I'm like, I'm supposed to be here. This is it. This feels like home.
Oh my God,
So bizarre.
that's so sweet. That just warms my heart. Just that image of those early moments of touring and falling in love with it.
Hmm. I
Oh,
don't know what to do with myself when I'm at home, truly. I know a lot of people struggle with that, so I'm trying to learn how to be me here and be me there.
it's funny. Do you think it's wanderlust or do you think it's just that you're meant to be a traveling troubadour?
I think it would be beautiful if I could say I'm just meant to be a traveling troubadour. But I do get in the van and I'm like, I'm just running from accountability because this isn't real life. And I don't
Right.
really have to think about my taxes or my credit card bill because everything's a business expense,
That's right.
crazy.
Running from accounting class.
You got me.
That's awesome. I love that. So, okay, I wonder if you were to try and normally at the end of these interviews, I'm
Hmm.
asking somebody to imagine a 21-year-old version of themselves, and typically there's decades in the gulf between that version of themselves and the today's version. So, but for you, I wonder, what if we took it back a little further to the beginning of your musical career, around the time you were 16,
Hmm.
17, when you were starting to sort of find the love. Now, as it's really all happening for you, on the eve of this album release and as the touring is ramping up, what advice do you think you would give that 16-year-old version? Or even what words of wisdom, encouragement, kindness might you give her?
I think something that's come up in this interview a couple times was being authentic and being genuine, being honest with myself. Um, I think for a long time I was running from the stories I wanted to tell and write about because of where I grew up. And um, I was so worried about what everybody else had to say or think about my songs. And that was because the songs hadn't found the right audience yet. So I think patience and um, authenticity are two values I'd push on to that girl.
Yeah. I love it. And the way you're using the word authenticity because it's a loaded word, especially in Nashville. Like,
Mhm.
do you really rope cattle? Are you allowed to sing
Yeah.
music with a twang? But
Hmm.
when you use the word authenticity, it sounds sort of like how I think of it. It's you're being true to yourself.
Yeah. I think what's so cool about it's tough. The whole like me being anti my move to Nashville has more to do with like what would I if I moved here, I would go get, God forbid, a coffee shop job, and then what would I be writing about? Selling croissants to my friends and discounting them every day. Like I think it's such a beautiful thing that all these current, Americana folk and outlaw country artists are on the rise from all these different places in the US and um Northern Europe and Canada, because everybody has a story to tell about where they're from and niche details that I would have never known, and I would have never written that song because I'm not from there. So, um, yeah, when people come flooding to Nashville and start dressing the same and go to the same bar, I'm like,
Yeah.
and and tell me about your musical project. I sound like a jerk. Sorry, that's me being very revealing early in the morning,
No.
but you know what I'm saying?
No, I think it's actors in Hollywood, it's finance bros in New York City, it's,
Mhm.
whatever. You're in the town where people go to do that thing. There's no
Yeah,
shame in that.
yeah.
Uh,
Where are
yeah,
you? Are you in Nashville?
no, no. I live in the Hudson Valley, north of Manhattan.
Oh wow. Okay.
So,
I saw you perform at Americana Fest recently.
no, no
Yeah.
way.
So this was very full circle. Fun for me.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
sneaking
Lifetime Achievement
my
Award.
congrats. That's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah,
It was
I
very
did.
fun to watch.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't have to quit. I get to keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's
You
not
might have
like,
to get rid of that pillow on your couch though.
so my daughter, who actually I think you would actually get along with very well,
Yeah.
Soleil, is about to turn 20 years old. She gave me this pillow because she thought it would be funny. It says, "I'm kind of a big deal."
I love it. It's good.
But I usually that's where my dog Ziggy sits, and I just pretend it's actually for Ziggy. He's this 19-pound poodle.
Oh,
He's a
I
very
love that.
small, big deal. Before I let you go, I wonder if you'd share a little bit about your songwriting process, just because it's something that I think about. I'm teaching it now to undergraduate, folks about your age in school in Manhattan.
Hmm.
I wonder about when you write a song. I wonder, do you have any sort of consistent like song starters? Do you need a quiet space? Can you describe sort of the process of sitting down to begin a song for you?
It always starts with the words for me. I would say a quiet space is most important. I've written my best songs very much alone, very much in a basement or a dark room. Um, if I'm feeling fancy, I'm lighting a candle, and there's a fun beverage involved, whether it be a decaf coffee or something. I focus more on the words than I do anything else, I think, because I know that's my bag. I'm not worried about writing, the hit lick, guitar solo. It's not for me. It's not my job. Um, and I think when the guitar is out of my hands is when I get my best work done. Um, And then from there, I used to be able to write a song in an hour, and sometimes that still happens, but now I'm very thoughtful and slow with it. So I don't just pile a bunch of garbage onto like one really good verse. So taking time with it. hmm
To that end, do you believe in revision? Do you have songs that you go back to over and over and rewrite and rewrite?
hmm hmm And it's funny. I do enjoy the Nashville co-writing thing sometimes. I found a couple of people I love going in the room with, and it's an exercise, and they push you to write songs you would have never written. Um, and I don't know if this is illegal or bad, but I've taken a really good start to someone walked in a little late to a session and been like, maybe we could work on this together, and they'll help me try to put a couple pieces to it, and I've scrapped it because again, I'm like, I wasn't honest enough in the session to know, or I wasn't ready to know where I wanted, this verse and this hook to go. So I definitely go back to the drawing board a lot, and that's okay, and that's cool, and it's important and fun to have multiple versions, I think.
Yeah, what is important about that making the room work when you walk in and sit down with a collaborator like that? Is it random? Is it something are there things you can do to make that work better?
Yeah, I think it's about being a team player. You decide the roles are either already decided or you can decide how they're going to sit. I'm normally walking in and everybody's there to write for me, even when I'm like, I didn't know we were doing that, but okay. Um, you have to be quick to be upfront and honest about what you're looking for because, you know, another guy in the room has to leave at 6 to go have dinner with his family, and he's like there for his 9 to 5 to get a song done. So he's like, all right, I'll take the initiative. This is a breakup song about a guy from Oklahoma. And you're like, okay. I waited too long to say something, so I guess that's what we're writing. Um, but again, maybe not something I would have written alone, so I'm just enjoying the experience. I'm trying to really listen to his little, his techniques. What can I learn from this person? Even if I'm hating the song, what am I learning? Yeah, it's different every time. It's a first date, is what it is.
Sure.
Mhm.
This is a thorny question, but the women in my life, my daughter and my wife have described you, and what you just described kind of makes me think of it. Do you feel ever, because you're a young woman, do you get talked over and discounted in the way that you might not be if you were a dude or an older, more established artist?
Of course, yes. And I figured that out very quickly. I think I anticipated it coming to a town like this, and everywhere I go, it happens more out in the wild in venues when I'm opening up for somebody than it does, in a studio. I think I've just kind of taken my power back and been like, you know what? I'm a cute 20-something-year-old girl. Like, you can get away with a lot more. And if you weaponize your fake incompetence and you just, and you let somebody mansplain or, you know, it could be a he, she splain. Like, any anybody will over explain to you, thinking they know more than you. And um, yeah, you just gotta let them sometimes.
Yes. I love it. I think this is great. I think people are going to love the new record, and by the
Thank
time
you.
this drops, they will have heard it. And I wish the best for you because I think you're bringing a very positive thing to this business and this world, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the time you've spent today. Thank you.
Thank you. It was so special to talk to you. It really means a lot. I respect you a lot. Congrats on your Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thanks.
I'm
I hope
excited.
I'm around to watch you receive yours.
Oh man, that would be pretty cool. Full circle moment for sure.
I love it.